baby-friendly, and then what the father got to do with it. That's my thought. Yeah, you already have the answer, but I'm just going to put it together, wrap it, and then we're going to go home and then recruit more fathers. Is he on? No, it's not on. So I'm going to stand on the back. All right, my name is Muswamba, and then for those who were there yesterday, I am originally from Congo, but I consider myself the most Congolese of Texan because I live the longest in Texas than anywhere else in the world. For those who were here yesterday, they know why. But I lived 12 years in Texas. I never lived 12 years anywhere. No, it's still not working. Right? Nice working. I was once a baby, breastfed 13 months, and then another one came, I guess. I am not the only one. I have 9 brothers and 3 sisters. I am number 6. That's why maybe I found a way to work with ladies, because one wants to be a doctor, one a football player, one I'm like, okay, I need to find something different because I want to be original. That's why I'm an BCLC, I guess. Nobody's competing with me among my brothers. I'm a father also. I have 5 children. The first one came at the same time. And then what's interesting, I was there all the time when they were born. The twins came, and then 7 months later, my wife was pregnant again, and in 16 months, I had 3 children. But I was there. And then we had a pause for 4 years, and then my wife started asking me again for another child. So number 4 is the one in the middle, and in the red shirt, I'm wearing a red shirt, was heavy. It came like 10 pounds, 11 ounces. My wife is an OBGYN, and I have asked her not to use all these medications, so you have natural vaginal birth. So that one was a work, because the one, number 3 was 8 pounds. Number 1 and 2 was 3 and 4, was a joke. Number 3 was 8 pounds. Number 4 was 10 pounds, 11 ounces. So I was there with my camera, and then the nurse said, you need to come here. So I was there participating, turn this way and then put this way, because that baby was 10 pounds and can get out. But he got out. And then number 5 was 7 pounds. That was a blessing. So I'm a father, and all of them breastfed. And the more children we have, the longer the breastfeed. So first one, 7 months, and then 9, and then 16, and then last one forever. All right, but it was not always like that. Because when you go to the hospital and you can participate in delivering your child, it wasn't always like that. Why? When I start this program, I start looking for information. And I look back in history, because there's 2 ways to find the truth. You go back in history, or you do some random clinical research. But I don't have the money to do research, so I start, let's look at history. So the history of father at birth didn't exist. They never want the father historically to participate in the birthing circle. In some long time ago, some culture didn't know that the father was the one that was making the baby to come. They thought the father was coming because you get married and then God sent them and there were no contribution. But even the culture that knew the father had something to do didn't invite the father in the circle. That was all the time. It's not something new. I give an example. In medicine, Germany was the one who started doing more observation and more research in medical field. French were more like feeling, touching. That's why they invented the stethoscope. But Germans like to know things deeply. So this doctor, Dr. Wirth, in 1522, wants to know more about about delivering babies, but he could not penetrate the circle. So what he did is say, one way to do that is to disguise myself. So he disguised himself, and then all of a sudden he sneak in and then try to observe. But he was so a good researcher that he started asking questions and taking notes. So the women noticed that this is not the right behavior. So they caught him. Do you know what they did to him? They burned him alive. So that was 1522. So it's only in 1946 at Mason that a father was allowed to be in the room. But that was conditioned because mom was paralyzed, so they could have father help the mom come close to the delivery room. It's on 1953 that Mount Sinai in New York start having a prenatal class when father can come. And it's only in 1964 that we have a first law that we can have the father in the room. And what's interesting that OB/GYN back then in the 60s were all male. So I don't know if it was a male thing or it was something else, but they didn't want to see another male coming there. So I put there like 1964, this guy was fined $150 because he wants to see his girlfriend deliver, so he handcuffed himself on the bed. And then they got him, and then the men pay. So Evelyn and Fitzgerald. Anyway, breastfeeding, men being involved in the circle was very, very new. So me having kids and participating there is new. So you mentioned this stuff, yeah. Now, we call Dr. Bradley the father of fathers, but the way he did that, he used father as a research because he noticed that when the father is present, mom is a little bit calm to deliver the baby. And of course, he was a farmer, he grew up with animals, and he never saw a doctor or a nurse helping a monkey or somebody, that too much support. So he came back and tried to get men and the family together, but the only way he did that, it was on the research so they can have men sneak in the delivery room. Now, WIC. Yeah. How many people from WIC here? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to go fast because there's 5 people in WIC here. So I'm going to tell the story of WIC and then put my contribution, how this program got involved. So WIC started in 72, and in 72 the breastfeeding initiation rate was 20%. But WIC started because of anemia. It was not started because of breastfeeding. Some doctor in Baltimore noticed that even though America was sending people on the moon, there were people dying from hunger right here in the United States. So they developed a program called IFIF. The program was called IFIF, which means RN fortified infant formula. And when WIC was decided in law, they had a model. The model was IFIF. So WIC was designed for formula, was not designed for breastfeeding. So that was in 72. But 174, because USDA didn't want to take charge of running a program. So for 2 years they sat on it until somebody tried to sue them. And then in 74, in January, they started the program. And the first year they had 88,000 participants in 1 year. Now, today we have over 9 million participants nationwide. And 50% of all the babies born in the United States are in WIC. So if you have to do something that touches the entire country, start with WIC, because it's 50% of the baby, that means 50% of the father too. So what is the biggest challenge with WIC now? The biggest challenge with WIC is no longer anemia, even though anemia around the world is still the problem, but the biggest problem now they're fighting is obesity. So when you talk about obesity, it's not the same thing with anemia, because if you're anemic, you come to see the doctor, they give you a pill, they give you 2 pills, and your iron level goes up. If you're obese, it's a little bit more complicated than that, right? So when they have a conversation about breastfeeding and obesity, when you have a conversation about obesity, breastfeeding keeps coming. Because researchers look like, okay, they say, it looks like those babies who were breastfed a long time ago look like they are not overweight. Huh. Is it an accident? So they check it. I said, so no, there is really a connection between breastfeeding and obesity. So when the government wants to do something with obesity because it costs them too much money, guess what? Breastfeeding conversations keep coming. It keeps coming. So it's coming. So what are we going to do about it? So this is the breastfeeding initiation rate in the last 100 years. You know that you have a V-shape, and then Dr. Stubbe mentioned that. You know, before 48, everybody was breastfeeding, and then all of a sudden it started going down, 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 down. 72 was the lowest rate, and then it started going up again in the 70s. I won't go in the reason why it started going in the 70s. It slowed down a little bit in the 80s, and then start going up again because we have the profession of lactation consultant in 1985. Now, if you find somebody who's been a lactation consultant for 40 years, you need to go to jail. So when they talk about breastfeeding, the key important things now with the Surgeon General, it's not about the individual, it's about the support. It's what's surround the mother. Because for the country I come from, mom breastfeed. Don't breastfeed because they have knowledge of breastfeeding. They breastfeed because that's what everybody does, and they support her to breastfeed. Now, I told you WIC didn't start with, was not designed really for breastfeeding. Because the biggest buyer of formula is government, so they buy $1 million of formula, but at the same time they start to provide. WIC is also the only organization that receives money from the government to support, to promote breastfeeding. So I put that Newsweek 92. 92 was the year that at least in 85 we have the lactation consultant. In 91 we have the peer counseling program. That's why the peer counseling program was created. So in 92 we have the peer counseling program in Texas. So this was the newspaper telling about the counseling program in Dallas that started in 92. So we were very happy. We have 14 people who were peer counselor, and the reason why I put that page there, because next page to that, there was already information about the importance of father to support breastfeeding. The information was there, but nobody knew what to do with it. Now, in 92, there was also, 97, there was also a paper, someone reviewing all the literature about the importance of father, about breastfeeding. So we had the information, but no intervention. 2000, that's the year many things happened. First of all, yesterday we talked about the disparity. That's the first time that Healthy People Goal decided to work on trying to understand disparity. Also in 2000 is the year that the government for the first time started collecting data on breastfeeding. Before it was done by Ross, formula company. In 2002, what happened in my interest, it was that paper that was published by Aurora. She's a physician in Philadelphia. She asked 500 women, maybe 200, I don't remember, but she asked them what was their reason to formula feed. What was their reason to formula feed? What do you think the answer was? What do you think was the first top answer? Why women decide to formula feed? Okay, what's the third reason? Shout it. Easy? Return to work. Because you women like to work a lot, so. What do you think was the second reason women will decide to breastfeed? Pain? No, you are smarter than that. They don't see the milk. When you go to your doctor, he asks you how many ounces did you swallow. Now, if the baby's on the breast, how do you know? So the doctor assumed that the baby was breastfed because how much? They don't ask you how long he was on the breast. Unless you ask that, I don't know. But they always ask how much he ate. I'm like, I don't know. It was 12 minutes here, 17 here. So whatever that means. So they don't see the milk. That's the reason why mom will not, because you want to measure, you want to see in the bottle, you want to see, oh, baby ate 4 ounces. You feel comfortable, you feel happy. What do you think was the first reason mom don't breastfeed? Oh, yeah, she's too smart. She can't answer. So it was the mother perception of the father attitude toward breastfeeding. So the first reason mom will, at least in Baltimore, no, in Baltimore, I keep saying Baltimore, in Philadelphia, was the perception, it's a perception of the mom, the perception, how do you write that? Mother perception or the father attitude toward breastfeeding. So if father is for breastfeeding, mom will breastfeeding 98% of the time. If the father say, hey, it's your body, I love you anyway, mom won't do it because breastfeeding is not easy. If the father is negative, it will never happen because that man is with you 24/7. Now, if it's against breastfeeding, good luck. You need a lot of prayer. So when we get that information, Texas say, oh, we need to try it. Yeah, Philadelphia is fine, but let's try that in a week. So in 92, we had, in 2002, so we have a pilot program in Texas that will educate men about how to support breastfeeding. The program was successful, and we have a class, and it was a pilot program. It works well, and one paper was published in 2004. You can go get it. And then another one was published in 2010, just looking at Hispanic population from that same data. Now, that program was okay, but the only problem with that program was it was female teaching men how to be men or how to support their wife. And so that seems like it was not okay. And then, meanwhile, I was getting very loud in my profession, I guess, being an advocate and champion and IBCLC. I was just making noise. And then my boss started looking at me like, maybe that could be a candidate for running this program. So I'm putting this paper here to know that this is not me. What I'm saying, it came from all this paper, right? So there is a bunch of them. Most of the studies are qualitative studies. I will summarize them here. From 92 to 2005, they were just trying small, talking to 20 people and trying to find out what works. But after 2005, they were looking at population. They were looking at 3,000, 4,000, taking data from the census and trying to understand if men are trained for breastfeeding, if not, if there is a difference. Now, those are qualitative studies. Some people look at qualitative study like it's not valid. Now, for people, for your doctor who wants quantitative studies, there is 5 studies around the world, only 5, that will really look at a control and then a trial and then see if there was a difference. The first study was done in a week in Arizona. One was done in Baltimore. 2 in the United States, 1 in Italy, 1 in Brazil, and the last one was done in 2013 in Australia when they looked at 700 families. I don't have the money and the means to try that again. I just believe that the result was good enough, and this gives me a comfort to stand before you and saying it's valid. Father is really important in the breastfeeding success. So one keyword was keep coming in these studies was it's about an attitude. It's a breastfeeding attitude. So what is a men breastfeeding attitude? So my program is all about breastfeeding attitude. So what is attitude? You got an attitude. No, it's not that kind of attitude. Attitude is a quality that you have inside you, but it's been fed from outside. Like the men were here, they change your attitude or your perception about men and breastfeeding, right? I hope. No? Okay. Nobody said anything. So if you look at the Surgeon General, and you look at the priority, there is 20 action. Action 2, they're talking about dead. If it was not that important, it will be action 20. But it's action 2. After the mom, they say, look at father and grandma. So that's why I'm standing here and I'm trying to answer the question, what is father got to do with breastfeeding? What father got to do with baby healthy or healthy hospital, baby-friendly hospital? So the goal is to involve father in the breastfeeding process. Now, you cannot separate breastfeeding from parenting. Even though I insist in breastfeeding, always remember that you cannot separate breastfeeding from parenting. You cannot separate breastfeeding from pregnancy. So this will come together. So basically, I do three things. Three things. I prepare, I equip, and I empower. I prepare the father to walk the step of parenting. 2, I equip them with the tools they can use today. When they come to your office, don't tell them, oh, when they're coming today, they want to do something today. If mom is crying too much, find a reason to tell him like that she's crying because of hormones, she's not crying because she's mad at you. They have to use today. If it's a large problem, you have to solve it today because they don't have time to think in 6 months. And then we empower them. But we empower them, the people who are already in week, who are father of breastfeeding baby. Because they will ask you, who are you to talk about? What do you know? Oh, I have 5 kids and they were breastfed. So did I get your attention now? Because men will test you. And once we don't know what to do, so we prepare, we equip, and then we empower. Now, if we find out a father have more issues, and then we refer them to a person who will help them. But at least we can start that conversation. So those are my folks. Those are all fathers. There is like 40 kids there. Those are fathers of breastfed children. Now, why they did breastfeed, I don't know. I know, but for different reasons. But they were recruited. They were all father for week. They still have kids in week. One just got, 2 just got babies. So we recruit them so they can talk to the father in week. So when the father comes, they say, oh, I have my kids in week too. You too? Oh my God, you have a nice tie. Yeah, but I'm working for week and I am a participant in the week. So when you talk about men breastfeeding attitude, what really are you talking about? Because attitude can be anything. When you talk about breastfeeding support, what are you talking about? Because support can be financial, support can be singing, massaging. What kind of support are you talking for? Dad here. When we start the program, we notice 2 things. If we talk about 2 things, emotions, because when you go logic, they get you. You have to go to the emotion very quickly. You have to get the father to the emotion. One way to do that is very easy. You are a father now. What was your relationship with your own father? Because you want them to open up, you have to go to the emotion side first, and then to the logic. If you start with logic, men don't ask direction. So you go to the logic, they're going to dribble you. So you have to go to the emotion, you have to go it fast. You have to be honest. Like I talked about yesterday, you have to be honest, humble, and then you have to honor them. You have to celebrate the presence when they come. Once you celebrate the presence and you ask them emotionally, okay, you're going to be a kid, so what's going on here? What are your rewards and how it's going at home? That will get them going. So there's 2 things that we find works a lot is emotions and then esteem. You have to make them feel good, specifically in front of the wife. Why? Because they come to week and then you're like, oh, look around. You look around. Oh, there is only female here. You're the only man. You are it. You are a good father because look at you take the guy say, oh yeah. And then the mom like, oh, yeah, he's the only one here, and it's mine. So the father think, if you find a way to, hey, it doesn't matter what it is. They have tattoos, and then it was intimidating that tattoos. They told her like, oh, what is that? Does it mean something? Are you? Who did your tattoo? You get going, emotion again. So breastfeeding support is good, but breastfeeding you focus on emotion, and then you find a reason to lift them up. Because you don't know if they were fighting in the car. Because sometimes they come and then say, my husband is there. He doesn't want to come in because he's weak, women, infant, and children. Go get him. So they come and then he's like, oh, what's up? Yeah, sit down. Listen. Now, once you do a program, and that's Miriam Labok told me. She works with Dr. Stubby. Every time you do a program, you need a theory. I'm like, oh no, I just want to talk to Dad. No, you have a theory. You have to approach them with a theory. So the theory for me was something easy. I find this in the book, culture book. And the way we approach them, we're using the PEN model. PEN is person, extended family, neighborhood. The P, it's for perception, enabler, and nurture, and then it's positive, existential, and negative. So the way it works, you always start looking for what is positive. Because that's how you're going to build that information. If you come and then you don't compliment the man, that's it. The bridge is broken. You can do whatever. You can dance. You won't do it. So you find something positive that will allow you to go to the next circle, which is the perception. Why they think, why they think. That was the question I was asking here. I was using my model. So you build that thinking. So what happened in your neighborhood? And then you do the intervention. Our intervention is not on the mom. Even though we want mom to breastfeed, we are approaching or attacking the man so they can support the wife. The intervention. Okay, those are the questions now. It's all about the men. So how do you make men come and come again? How do you make them listen to you? Those are the approaches we're using. Now, there is no way you're going to find a man and know that his wife is expecting. It's not written here. But we can detect a mom who is expecting. So we are approaching the man through their wife. We just have a conversation. So where is the man? Besides Jesus, they have to have a contribution of men. Oh, he's not in the picture. Why not? Oh, he's a loser. Okay, so what happened? Even though they're not in the picture, we tell mom, inform him that you came too weak. Inform him that you are throwing up. Inform him so he knows something is happening. Because if he doesn't know, he's going to stay a loser and get another girl. She's going to come by herself. So keep informing him. And because, do you want him to pay child support? All right, so get involved. So we educate the mom to reach the father, and then we dispose ourselves to bring them in. Now, how do you do that? So our program is all about intervention. We are not doing research. We're using research, what you do to make something that works. One, we prepare. Second, we equip. Third, we empower. When we cannot do that, we refer. That's why they have to get educated. Because if somebody's in front of them, they have to know, is this baby go to the RD, this baby to go to the doctor, this baby goes to the LC, this baby to go to the breastfeeding counselor. If he doesn't know, it's the same problem. So all the period receive also the same education, so they will know, this is not correct. If the baby doesn't breathe right, call 911. We have that actually happen. So waiting for them to come to us was depressing because they didn't show up. So we say, let's go where they go because baby are born in a hospital. So we start going to the hospital. We start going to school because on that research about Dr. Aurora, one of the findings was the decision to breastfeed comes very early in the pregnancy, even before the pregnancy. So if you get the language in high school about breastfeeding, somehow you are sowing a seed up here. If you get them in the first trimester, it's better. That's why the OB/GYN need to get involved, because pediatrician is too late. They already made my mind. They already bought the formula, and they don't want to waste money. So we go to the community. When we find a place they want to listen to us, we go. This is a community. This is an apartment building. When the police go, tell them how to behave, and then we say, oh, can you give us 10 minutes so we can tell them also something else? So we go to the community, we talk to the family, to the father. But we cannot reach all the community. So those are my men. Here is at the Parkland Hospitals. Parkland Hospital is the #1 hospital in terms of birth in the nation, 16,000 births a year. So there is always a baby at Parkland. So we go to Parkland Hospital. Those are my men. So they look well-dressed, and they're always sharp, so they can get your attention. So at Parkland, what we do, we talk about breastfeeding to men, breastfeeding attitude, because you have to do something for the mom to say the baby go to the breast. Once they go to the breast, hey, if they have a latching problem, there is LC, there is a baby cafe, there is something else, but they have to get that conversation going. Now, does it work all the time? It works all the time if you get excited. Because sometimes we don't know what to say. We're just excited about breastfeeding. And excitement is contagious. You're just excited about breastfeeding. Oh, my wife did that. The guy's like, this guy's crazy. I want him to be crazy too because baby's healthy. If they have an attitude, you have to get them mad. Because when they're mad, they will be thinking about you. I'm going to get you back. This is not, I'm not making this thing up. I'm finishing at 45, right? Okay. This is one of the Yeah, this happened to Johnny. Johnny is the black guy over there. Oh, the African American. Johnny was the peer counselor worked with the peer dad. So when the peer counselor tries something that doesn't work, he sends it to the peer dad. The peer dad have this mom who say, my husband doesn't want me to breastfeed. Okay? Do you want me to talk to him? Oh yeah, can you please call him? So he called the guy. The guy answered, who are you? Oh, I called for WIC, blah, blah, blah. I'm somebody who talk about breastfeeding. So you think you're going to convince me that I can make a breastfeed? Okay, I'm going to come down to your office and you tell me. And Johnny's like, okay. When you come, I'm going to come tomorrow 7:30. Now, Johnny didn't sleep at night. Johnny's like, I never met this guy. He's coming tomorrow. He doesn't want his wife to breastfeed. Sorry, it was not his wife. It was his girlfriend. So the guy came at 7:29. And then Johnny started asking me a question. He said, okay, before we start talking, I'm going to ask you some questions, and then the way you answer the question, I will then educate you on breastfeeding. So he asked him a question. If I guarantee you that in 44 years, your baby will be the next president of the United States, what are you going to do now to prepare him there? The guy is like, he was an immigrant, so he didn't think about it. It's like, hey, Obama is the son of an immigrant, so this American-born baby, in 42 years will be president. How are you going to prepare him right now? Oh, the guy's thinking, and so, okay, let's say bonding. Write the letter B. So the guy wrote bonding, and then let's keep going, and then breastfeeding, and then you say R, relationship. So he was spelling the words breastfeeding. And in the middle, the guy said, oh my God, you are making breastfeeding. Oh yeah. The guy was sold. Oh man, you're so smart. And before you know it, he did accept the breastfeeding. But what was so funny, he was planning to dump her. It's like, the guy said, no, you don't do that. No, he said, you are an animal. You don't do that. So they got, yes, can we call in so I can apologize and things like that. And they got engaged, and a beautiful story, and they have a baby. So we also give them tips. We don't only talk the talk, we have to walk the talk. So when they come, we give them skills they can use today. Like here we're teaching the 5 S's, which by Dr. Karp, but we use the 6 S's because I add skin to skin. So if you want to calm the baby, there is the swaddling, the shushing, all these beautiful things. And then, if it doesn't work, you go back to the skin to skin. Start again. And then you swaddle. So we give them tips. We don't just give them the talk. So, and that is in a prenatal class at Methodist Hospital. Hospital was very welcoming for us when we came over there. They were very happy. And then we teach them how to swaddle, and then look at the next picture, how they're laughing, they're just having fun, because they found something they can do. And we find that when we talk to men in the hospital, they are very open. They don't have attitude. I think hospitals have this intimidating factor. That's why you want to be baby-friendly, right? But I don't only do that with dolls, like you see that in hospital, we cannot touch the baby. But in WIC clinic, I'm the master. Your baby cry, can I touch that baby? Give it to me. So I'm here, I have a baby. The parents are the couple there that are laughing at me. And I take the baby, I hold him in a certain position, the baby's quiet. And I'm doing this. I got 5 kids. So the parents are like, what are you doing with my baby? And then I come, and I'm teaching the class, and I hand the baby, and baby cry. I'm like, give me the baby again. And baby's quiet. Baby's going, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing a technique I'm going to teach you now because I'm holding a baby in a certain position. Yeah, show off, Sometimes good. So that's what the technique we teach, so they can also show off in the community. Those are real babies we are dealing with in the WIC clinic. So those are the babies of the staff. So we say, like, practice on a real baby because they are fathers. They can drop the baby. Now, Augusto is in the middle. He has 5 kids. John is on the other side. They have 4 kids, and then the tall one is Richard. I have 2 kids. Now, we also go to the NICU, because in the NICU, the parents don't want to touch the baby. When they've seen the baby so many weeks with those tubes, they're like, can't touch that. So we have to go, we work with both couples, like, okay, it's a baby. This is how you hold the baby. So this is what we are demonstrating how to do with the baby in the NICU at Parkland. So, and then we make further practice, because the baby is coming out in 2 or 3 days. And also teach physician. This is a doctor, OBGYN, no, pediatrician. So he say, hey, you can't tell mom to lie. So give him a fake breast, and then they're just having fun over there. Doctor can do it now. You know, you're a doctor, you're a male, you have to have a solution. All right. So I'm going to finish with this, and maybe I have a time for a video again. The aphorism of Hippocrates. Life is long because this is a young program. We will never know everything we need to know to establish the program. But we know enough to launch the program. Don't wait to be perfect. Just be excited and just have enough to get started. That's why we say life is short. The art is long, and it will never finish. Opportunity is fleeting, experience is delusive, and judgment is difficult. This is the reason why doctors go to school for 15 years, like my wife. 15? Why? It's because they want to make sure the judgment is right. Because when the situation comes to you, you have to think fast and then judge. It's not about information, it's about knowledge. And I know they will never change WIC to be PIC, parent, infant and children, or FIC, family, infant and children. So I'm still waiting for that to come, but I know it won't come in my generation. It may come later. So I think I'm finished. I'm going to run a video if I have 2 minutes for you to enjoy what we do with the father. So when you have your husband coming, we know what we're going to do with him. We're just going to love him. Oh, he was on, where's the, oh, there you go.
Yeah. Go.
We know who's the first-time father, right?
Yeah. Listo. Regrese.
We're abusing your man. With tattoo also, right? Look at the girl, she's laughing. You don't see her.
More. Go. Dos, tres.
That's it.